The Destiny drama is so bad. I know we don't care, but like, come on. Look, it's not that we don't care necessarily, because the tiny glimpses of it that I see on the TL are entertaining isn't even the right word. I don't know. They're provocative. Um it's more like Jesus Christ, you know? There's rubbernecking a car crash, and then there's like the cars exploding and there's shards getting everywhere. Like, Jesus, what a mess. Streamer slop. I'm sure Hassan has been covering it in great detail. I've heard that Destiny is now an ardent defender of Palestinian rights, possibly even a member of Hamas. So good for him, I suppose. Eric Adams thinks it was an embarrassment. The Destiny H3 drama? Yeah, I'm sure. Adams W? Adams W? Is the against D real? How the f I know? The last person you could seriously doesn't isn't Hassan talking about all of this? Yes? Alright, well there you go. I'd rather watch you talk about it. Sorry, you have no choice but to actually for me, listen, it's clothing or butt. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm glad a decade plus of relentless contrarianism hasn't robbed him of his ability to be funny.
Vosch is in a strange moment of his career. What was once a constant presence in the streaming world has now become an almost deliberate absence. His so-called fortress arc has turned into a period of self-imposed isolation, where rather than engaging directly with the day-to-day chaos of the streaming ecosystem, he's walled himself off in a way that feels both strategic and defensive. It's not uncommon for online figures to withdraw when things become too volatile, but in Vaush's case, this retreat has created a vacuum. For a personality who built his name on direct confrontation, debates, and constant involvement in online discourse, stepping back has only intensified curiosity around his absence. Audiences wonder whether this isolation is a calculated move to preserve long-term relevance or simply a product of burnout from an environment that never stops demanding content and conflict. Meanwhile, the wider streaming landscape has hardly slowed down. Destiny, one of Vaush's most significant rivals, has found himself caught in a new wave of controversy. Recently, conversations leaked in which Destiny appeared to be engaged in questionable chats with someone whose age is still uncertain, with speculation that the individual may not have been of legal age. While no definitive conclusion has been drawn yet, the mere existence of these leaks has already inflicted damage. For someone who has survived years of controversy, Destiny's brand has always been one of resilience through chaos. Yet this particular situation is different because the allegations strike at the core of moral credibility, and regardless of the truth, perception alone can erode trust. The timing of this drama has also collided with another high-profile conflict. Destiny has been in the middle of an ongoing beef with Ethan Klein, and the leaks have become ammunition in that feud. Ethan, who has often struggled to balance criticism of figures like Destiny with the preferences of his own audience, used the situation as a convenient reason to cut ties. Publicly, this was framed as a moral stance. Privately, many suspect it was also a tactical move to keep Hasanabi's massive fanbase on his side, given the long-standing tension between Hassan and Destiny. It highlights how much of the streaming world's alliances and rivalries are not about principle, but about audience management. By distancing himself from Destiny at exactly the right moment, Ethan was able to posture as principled while also appeasing a significant portion of his viewership who would never have tolerated continued association with Destiny. The suggestion of a secret cooperation between Ethan and Destiny further complicates the narrative. For years, whispers circulated that their conflict was never entirely genuine, that some level of behind-the-scenes coordination existed. In this framing, Ethan's decisive cutoff would not only represent betrayal, but also the sudden collapse of a longer-standing arrangement. Whether or not this corporation theory has any truth, it shows the level of paranoia and conspiracy that follows major creators. Fans and critics alike begin to see every interaction as part of a bigger strategy, where friendships, feuds, and collaborations are nothing more than business decisions disguised as personal drama. The reaction to Destiny's situation has been intense. Even among those who claim indifference, the spectacle is impossible to ignore. Comparing it to rubbernecking at a car crash isn't far off. It's not just the drama itself that captures attention, but the sheer scale of it. The streaming community thrives on conflict, but this particular controversy feels catastrophic, like the difference between a fender bender and a multi-car pileup. Every new development spills over into timelines, every comment from a rival creator fuels the fire, and every attempt at defense only raises more questions. Hasanabi, of course, has been a central figure hovering around this mess. Whether directly covering the fallout, or simply letting his fanbase amplify the drama, Hassan benefits from Destiny's collapse in a way few others do. The two have been ideological opponents for years, and watching Destiny's reputation fracture provides a kind of vindication for Hassan's supporters. When Ethan chose to lean into that dynamic, it only deepened the sense that the streaming world isn't just about personalities, but about factions, with every creator aligning themselves to maximize influence and minimize backlash. Amidst all of this, Vaush's withdrawal feels increasingly deliberate. By refusing to engage, he shields himself from the collateral damage that comes with being too close to any one faction. His fortress arc may seem isolating, but it also positions him as untouched by the chaos consuming his peers. In an environment where drama spreads like wildfire, the simple act of silence can be a power move. It creates distance, allows speculation to build, and ensures that when he does re-emerge, he will do so on his own terms rather than being forced into the narrative of others. The broader pattern is hard to ignore. Streamers rise on the back of constant visibility, but that same visibility eventually exposes every flaw, every mistake, and every conflict. Destiny's current implosion is not just about one set of leaked chats, but about years of accumulated antagonism, rivalries, and precarious alliances finally converging at once. Ethan's role shows how quickly relationships can be reframed for convenience. Hassan's involvement demonstrates how rivalries can evolve into opportunities. And Vaush's retreat proves that sometimes the smartest move in a collapsing ecosystem is simply to disappear until the dust settles. In the end, what looks like chaos is also the inevitable product of a system that rewards provocation over stability. Destiny's situation might resolve in one way or another, but the underlying cycle will continue. New controversies will emerge, new alliances will form, and audiences will once again find themselves rubbernecking at the next car crash. Vaush's fortress arc, Destiny's implosion, Ethan's maneuvering, Hassan's amplification, it all fits into the same pattern. A streaming world that thrives on conflict, yet devours those who can't step away from it.